Stacy and Larry, the
Hi.
Love Advantage.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. And today we wanted to share with you something that we found today that we thought was really powerful and related to dating. So the quote is...
The quote's by Joseph Campbell, and the quote is, "You must give up the life you planned in order to get the life that's waiting for you." You must give up the life you planned in order to give up the life that's waiting for you.
Yeah, and that's a Joseph Campbell quote. And I mean, it came up because we were thinking that, well, it hit you hard.
The first thing I thought of was expectations. And I thought of when I was doing online dating, and I would see all of these women that I thought I might be interested in, and they all said, "Oh, I'm only interested in guys that are 5 foot 10 inches or above," and I'm 5'4", and sure, that's pretty short, but I was like, no, wait a minute, that seems like it could be discounting a lot of really good guys based on an expectation of, this is what I need to be happy. This is what I planned. This is the plan I had in my head of what can make me happy as a tall guy over 5'10". And so that was the first thing that hit me with this quote, was about expectations.
Yeah.
And then that went into this whole thing we started thinking about with the ego versus the soul.
Yeah, because I mean, if you're really, because there is a somewhat of planning that's going on when
Sure.
you're thinking about dating, because you know what's important to you. You've got to know your values. You've got to know what really matters to you. If you want to have kids, you want to find someone who
Those kind
has
of
kids.
those like non-negotiable.
Those are the non-negotiables. I think this is kind of allowing for more flow and surrender in your experience, so that you're not consistently, like, I feel like it's like fighting with the reality, which creates all the pain. So if you can somehow know at a bigger level that everything is happening the way it should, then it's just a more pleasant experience. So that's what this quote brought up for me, is you must give up the life you planned in order to get the life that's waiting for you. That maybe when your head says, oh, this isn't good enough, or this shouldn't have happened, or woe's me, that perhaps that is exactly, and I believe it is exactly what was supposed to happen. Because what was the other quote you mentioned?
Oh, that quote where people make plans and God laughs.
Right.
And it's just this thing where you have to, what you planned is not the way things are going to happen. Rarely do expectations really come to fruition. And it's about being flexible and being open to changing your beliefs, or to, what were you saying, to allow for something even better to happen.
Yeah, because I think our minds really try to keep us small and safe and comfortable. But what would it be like if you were kind of nudged into a different experience where you are surprised and it's even better than what you thought it could be?
So there was that antidote we came up with. Be curious to discover.
Right.
I love the word curiosity. Curiosity and being curious comes up in a lot of Buddhist Dharma all the time. They do it, you try and be curious around fear and curious around unknowns and all kinds of stuff like that. So instead of having these rigid, concrete ideas of plans in your head, have a little more curiosity. And when you see someone online maybe and say, well, that's definitely not what I planned, that's definitely not what I was expecting, but I wonder. having that curiosity in there can maybe open up some doors.
Yeah, I think that's a really great thing, and to be wondering and have that like playful view of things. The other piece that I was thinking is like, I think that often we undervalue what we can possibly get anyway. So it's like, being limited because we are fearful that we don't deserve it,
Right.
or we're not good enough. Like there's a lot of that I see all the time with women that I work with. It's just like, they don't even feel like there's a possibility that there's someone out there for them. And I believe that even if you have like that glimpse or that spark, that pull towards love, then there really is someone out there for you. But it's our own limiting beliefs that start keeping us from thinking that it's even possible.
And that's part of the quote. It's those
Yeah.
plans. It's like, I've got these plans. This is what needs to happen. And it could actually be
Right.
10 times better than that.
Right. And I find that when I've gotten coaching, which I have plenty of coaches right now, I think that it's really a powerful space because often you can't even see where you're limited. And I'm constantly surprised by, what I'm missing out and from seeing for myself. So it's really helpful to have that outside perspective that might be able to help you move beyond, what you think is possible.
I think that's a good point. I think limiting beliefs is a huge part of what this quote is about. That's really great.
Yeah, so we would love to hear from you. Send me an email at Macy@BigHappyLove if you feel like you are kind of stuck in thinking that there's no one out there for you, or that you're not good enough, or you have something else to do before you can have a relationship, because all of these things are like keeping you from what your heart really desires. So Macy@BigHappyLove.com. Talk to you soon.
Bye.